Hi guys, co-tutor here and my name is Anil Deshpande.
After the completion of functions in the previous video, I was wondering what should be the next topic that I should take up. Well, we could have gone ahead with collections, which consists of arrays, sets, and dictionary. Other topics could have been structs and classes. Any of these topics would have been perfectly fine to be chosen for the next discussion, but I have decided that I will concentrate on enumerations before moving further to any of the other topics. Depending upon the programming language background that you might have come from, you might have been already familiar with enumerations, but for all practical purpose, I will assume that this is the first time that you are working with enumerations. So let's have a look at the definition of enumerations as per Apple. It says that an enumeration defines a common type for a group of related values and enables you to work with those values in a type safe way within your code. If it looks like a lot of jargon, I will try to make it simple. Let's assume that you are creating an application for coffee vendor and you want to basically keep track of different type of coffee cup sizes that the vendor sells. It could be small, medium, large, and as you can make out, all of those different cup sizes basically translate to different quantities of the coffee that you will be pouring into them. Now the question is, which is the best mechanism to represent this data set? Well, the immediate thing that will come to some of your mind is, let's have a coffee cup size as a variable. It could be of either string or integer data type. If it is a string, I will assign small, medium, large string values, and if it is an integer, I will assign 240, 340 and 470 to represent different milliliter quantities in those cups. Well, it solves a problem, but it doesn't capture the idea that we are talking about common type for a group of related values. These are just strings and integers, that's all. And what if somebody by mistake assigns a mega value to a coffee cup size? That would be wrong, because only allowed values are small, medium and large in case you are following a string methodology. And if it is an integer, only allowed values are 240, 340 and 470. 800 would be a wrong value to assign. So this mechanism is not type safe. So basically the idea is how to ensure that coffee cup size only holds these values and without much of a fuss, to get the whole idea that we are talking about coffee cup sizes here. And that is where the concept of enumerations come into picture. In Swift, we can just define a enum called coffee cup size, and this will be a user defined data type. And now we can define small, medium, large as individual values that coffee cup size can hold. So with this, I can now define a variable of type coffee cup size or a constant of type coffee cup size, and then assign only these three values, and any other than these three values would be wrong assignment. I can just extend the same idea to create a enum car body type and then define different car body types like SUV, sedan, hatchback, wagon, van. And this captures the idea that we are talking about group of related values and I can use them in a type safe manner. I think it would be better to understand through a demo. So let's go to playground. So let me get started with the creation of enums. You get started with enum, that is ENUME, that is the keyword, and then I can create coffee cup size and then opening and closing flower brackets, and inside that I can write case small and then case medium and then case large. You might be wondering, can I write S as capital? You can, but once again the convention here we follow in Swift is all individual cases inside the enum would be having only small letters, until and unless you have a very large word. In that case you can use camel case, but most of the time it would be only small letters that we would be using for individual cases. Some people even prefer writing it as comma separated, that is case small, comma medium, comma large. Both of these are fine. You can write comma separated or you can write them individually in separate lines. I just prefer this way because it makes it very easy to read. So we have just defined a enumerated data type called coffee cup size. Now how do I assign these values? For that, let me create a variable called as order info. We have to define the data type. The data type for this order info would be coffee cup size, and I can assign coffee cup size dot large, and in the same way I can write small or medium. And if I try to assign anything other than this, it will be a compilation error. error. So the data type of this order info could be only coffee cup size dot either small or medium or large. And if I decide to print the order info, this is how it would get printed. That is, it will print it as if it was a string. And we can use this in a switch case. That is, I can do a switch on order info and pattern would be coffee cup size dot small and code would be print for 240 ml, and I can just write small, medium 340 ml, and for large it would be 470 ml, and depending upon whatever the value that you have assigned, it will go into that particular case, and that is the output that you are getting. And you will observe that here we are getting a warning saying that default will never be executed. It will make sense because the coffee cup size can hold only these three values, and all these three values are taken care in these switch cases. So that is why there is no need to write the default case when you are working with the enumerations. While working with enumerations, it is a warning to use a default, so we can just eliminate. And if I introduce another case called as, let me call it as mega, now you will get a compilation error saying that switch must be exhaustive, consider adding a default clause. So it would be better you once again write another switch case for coffee cup size mega. So in Swift, if you are working with enums, the framework makes sure that you basically use all the exhaustive cases. And another way of assigning value to a enumeration is, since we already know the data type of order info is coffee cup size, you need not have to write coffee cup size dot mega. You can just write dot mega and it would be perfectly fine, and it will still work in the same way. And I can just apply the same concept in the switch statement. I can write case dot small, dot medium, dot large, and dot mega. I request you to be familiar with this way of writing or assigning enumeration data type, because you will see this quite a lot in any Swift application that you might be working. So we have just got started with enumerations. We will be exploring enumeration more in the next video. That brings us to the end of this particular video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.